Hey, it's Christopher with Relevantly Speaking, and I'm here with Tim Bourquin, the founder of New Media Expo. We're here in Las Vegas, just a few hours away from opening the doors to this year's show. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No worries. So let's start out with, the New Media Expo has been about 4 years old now. This is your fourth show. You started in Ontario, California, and now you've moved here to Vegas. What prompted that move for you?
Well, we've been in Southern California for 3 years, and it was a great place to grow the show because we could take over the entire convention center. It was really turned it into a podcasting show. Really, the whole city for that weekend was all about podcasting. But we thought after 3 years, it's kind of time to help the industry grow and to take that next step. Podcasting still has a little bit of that reputation of being kind of homegrown and a little bit fringe. More major media is doing it, so that's starting to change. But we felt we could help that happen a little bit faster by taking it to a city where a lot of trade shows happen, where the biggest trade shows happen. So we figured by having it here, we were helping to kind of move the industry along and saying, look, we are a real industry here now. There's some very serious players here, and people are very serious about putting a lot of effort and resources into their shows. And by having it in Vegas, I think we've done a lot to help that and push that along. It also makes it a lot easier for the international folks to get here. It's really a global show. We've got like 22 countries and 42 states represented. And so for the East Coasters, a little bit easier to get to Las Vegas. And so for a lot of different reasons, but for just trying to give that a bigger feel wasn't the biggest reason.
So this industry is very well rooted in technology, and technology moves so quickly. How do you and your staff stay apprised of the trends, kind of know what's happening in order to create a show that will create an audience with that show as we move forward?
So the first show we designed because it was just what my brother and I wanted to come to a conference and see. So we brought in speakers. We thought we want to hear what they have to say. But as you get a little bit more mature with the show, it's hard to find out what's going to be next because you're planning these things so far out, a year in advance. We got to think, okay, what is going to be the hot topics a year from now? So we really rely on the speakers. We get probably 700 submissions to teach sessions at the Expo. We choose 52. So the process is really tough, and there's some great people that we have to turn down just because we don't have the room. But it also allows us to keep on top of what's relevant. And we see a lot of speakers starting to talk about the same topic. We know, okay, that's a topic we really need to maybe dedicate a couple of sessions to. Aside from that, I read probably 300 feeds a day. I have aggregator keywords from Google on new media, podcasting, and a lot of different things just to keep an eye on the pulse of what's going on, and so we can know, hopefully, what's going to be important in 6 months, a year ahead, and also right now, what are attendees interested in, so we can make adjustments really close to the show, too, like doing the keynotes. Who's the hot person who has something really to say, and bring them into talks. We make those last-minute adjustments as well.
So what are we to look for at this show? What are going to be the highlights to keep a watch on?
Well, we first started out, it was all about audio. It was audio podcasting. This year, about 50-50 video and podcasting. A lot of podcasters who were doing just audio in the past are kind of trying the waters of video. And video has taken over. Lots of people have even said kind of taken over the place of audio podcasting. I don't think that's the case, but I do think there's a lot of interest in it. So we got a lot of sessions about people transitioning from audio or supplementing it even with video, and talking about when's video necessary as opposed to audio. So I think video is the hot topic, but a lot of people have been doing this for 3-4 years now. They've got the basics down about how to create a feed and microphones. They really want to know, how do I take my show to the next level? I've got 5,000 listeners. I want to go to 10,000. I've reached a plateau. How do I get to that next level? So I think it's about getting those experienced people with a little more veterans of the industry, if you can call them that after 3 years, how they take their shows to the next level, whatever that means for them, whether it be audience or production quality. And I think that's always going to be the hot topic.
Now, the show opens tomorrow morning. You're probably already thinking about the next show. What do you have planned for next year's New Media Expo?
So I'm thinking it'll be in Vegas. Maybe we'll do 2 shows. Maybe we'll do one on the East Coast. We've been thinking about that. It's going to be about, I think, not just using audio and video in it itself as a show, but how do you extend that brand? And that's one of the reasons why we brought Gary Vaynerchuk in, because he's done a great job of extending his brand. So now that you have an audience you've built in, you've got loyal listeners, how do you extend that? How do you maybe go into merchandise or some other areas you may not be thinking about to extend your brand as a media company? Because I think it's really important that people think themselves as media companies, mini media companies, and how do they extend that brand and do other things after they've started and gotten a loyal audience. So I think next year it'll be all about taking that show that you have and extending that out into a whole lot of different areas.
Well, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate the insights.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it.
It's Christopher with Relevantly Speaking here from Las Vegas and the New Media Expo.